you taking this time to let us showcase to you our new Astute range of products. If I'm correct, everybody should be able to see my screen where it says CBI Electric Low Voltage Astute. Please, at any time during this session, if I can call it that, if there is anything you want to ask, feel free to just put it in the chat and we will answer it as we go through. If there is something that we see, we'll answer it as well straight away. But please, any questions you have, post them to us so that we can answer you and make sure that when you leave here, you know exactly what this product can do for you and what it can do for your clients. So thank you again for taking this opportunity, for letting us present to you our products. Okay, CBI Electric Astute. Astute, a very smart name for smart. I just want to ask something. Brian, I see you've raised your hand. Is there anything you want to ask? Brian Manderson? Okay, I don't think so. Cool. So, CBI Electric Low Voltage Astute range of products. We have currently released 2 versions in the Astute range of products. As you can see on my screen, we have what we call Astute Smart Isolator, ASI, or the Astute Smart Controller, ASC. So what do these products do for you? It's easy. As long as you have a cell phone in your hand, internet connection, and an Astute Smart Controller or Astute Smart Isolator, you will be able to control any device from anywhere in the world, literally. We currently have demo units here in South Africa, Joburg, where we have our subsidiaries in America and Australia playing with them, switching them on and off with their cell phones. No extra wiring needed, no extra telecoms needed. All you need is your cell phone and a Wi-Fi connection with internet, wherever the device is installed. Just a quick breakdown of exactly how does the Astute Smart range of products work. Like I was saying, all you need is one of the Astute Smart devices in your house, Wi-Fi router at the source, and a smart cell phone. All of your automation, time schedules, smart controlling devices, your timing functions, all of that is stored in the CBI cloud. But what happens if it's a sunny day and there's no cloud? You don't need to worry. If you have a timing function set on the device, the timing function will always stay on the device. So no internet, the device will still switch on and off according to the 7-day timer schedule that you've set up. It obviously won't be able to switch on and off remotely anymore, but you will definitely be able to switch it on and off according to the time schedules that you have set. Later down the line, I'll show you exactly what type of settings all you can do when we talk about timer schedules. So only one of these devices is needed. You don't need to have both devices to be able to control the cell phone. All you need is the Astute controller, Wi-Fi, and a cell phone. No extra wiring, no extra telephone connections, no hard wiring. All you need is your cell phone, the device, and a Wi-Fi router wherever this is installed. This device is the first of its class when you are looking at a 30 amp maximum resistive load rating and 10 amps inductive load. 30 amps resistive load and 10 amps inductive load. First of its kind in South Africa. So a 3 kilowatt geyser, not a problem. With this device, you now have the capabilities of settings 24 hours, 7 days a week. So you can decide which days of the week you want the device to switch on and which days do you want it to switch off. So you can literally have a device switching on a Monday and switching off on a Wednesday. Or it can only come on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. With the same device, the control in the palm of your hand, off of your cell phone, you will be able to have energy monitoring of this device as well. Why do I have weather conditions? With this device, you will be able to set up automations where you use the weather controlling to set a device to switch on when it's sunny, switch off when it's cloudy, switch on when it reaches below a certain temperature. Those are all the automations we will go into a little bit later in the session. All of this control in the palm of your hand. Security, energy monitoring, energy saving. You can definitely use this device to save energy in the long run. I'm also just going to switch off my video so you don't see my ugly smug the whole time, and to try to save bandwidth on this side that I can show you the presentation with no hitches. Some of the typical applications of the Astute Smart Range devices is pool pumps, lighting, geysers, underfloor heating, stove. All of these devices need timing schedules. All of them have huge range for remote switching. Isn't it going to be nice to be able to switch your pool light on and off from your cell phone? Instead of walking out to the DB board inside your pump house, literally you can now switch on and off your pool light from your cell phone. It's a very cool party trick to have as well. Standing around the braai, you can switch on and off your lights in your pool. You don't need to walk up to the pool to be able to switch them on or off. You can set up ECU setups. What is the ECU? Energy control units. This allows you to set up energy controlling if you have 2 devices or more installed. You are able to set up that your essential and non-essential loads switch on and off as needed. How do you do this? With the energy control side of this device. When devices pull more wattage, more amperage, maybe drops below a certain voltage, above a certain voltage, this device can switch on and off the device as you need it to. Fish ponds, activating underfloor heating with real weather conditions. What would be nice is, instead of every time activating the underfloor heating to switch on when it's cold, you can now use the weather app, and according to the weather app, if the degrees go below a certain rate, say for example 10 degrees, it activates the underfloor heating. As soon as the weather app gets a message, gets notification that it is above 20 degrees, roll the switch the underfloor heating off again. All of these is done through smart automations. Now, like I said earlier, any and all timing schedules are kept in the cloud, but on the device as well. So the timing schedules will always work, even if there's no internet. But if you have internet, the smart automations will be able to work. No internet, unfortunately, the smart automation will not be functional. Sorry, if I get quiet for a while, people are just still logging in. I'm just allowing them to come in and out. All you need to do is download the CBI Home app from any app store, Apple or Google. You need to register an account for yourself. Obviously, the account costs nothing, but the benefits of being able for you to register and have a username and password, this gives you the option that if you lose your cell phone, all your details will already be in the cloud and it will be accessed. So every time you get a new cell phone, throw away your cell phone, share the devices, all of the information stored in the cloud will automatically be back on your device. Also, when you share this device with any other person in your family or colleagues at office, you use their login details to share the device with them. This device is also able to give admin rights. You can make them a common member, you can give them full rights, or you can just kick them off if you're tired of them. That is all the benefits of having the registration. The registration is only there to assist you to keep the data that you have installed on your device. So if you take out your iPad and you register the device, all of your settings will be there automatically. Get a new cell phone, don't worry, you don't need to repair everything again. It's all under your username and password. Currently, we have 2 Astute devices on the market. On the left-hand side, we have the Astute Smart Controller, the ASC, and on the right-hand side, we have what they call Astute Smart Isolator, ASI. When you order these products, you'll be ordering either the ASC or the ASI. The bonus of this product is that your contractor, your client, your stock holding, it helps so much because you have 2 products in one. This is a DIN rail mount product and a mini rail product. But don't worry, you don't need to cut out that pull board anymore. You can just take off the black surround and you have now a 45mm escutcheon product, or you just put the little black shell back on and you have a 57mm escutcheon for the mini rail. So no worried about having two different devices in your bucky at all times. You drive around with one, and no matter what your client has, DIN rail or mini rail, it is one device. Astute Smart Isolator. This is a fully 60947-3 isolator. So any application where you need to have an isolator installed, say for example a geyser, aircon, the 2x4 isolator will be able to work in that application. Now, one thing I just need to mention though is all of the Astute range products have exactly the same functionality, just different applications. So the smart controller fits into your DB board, but if you don't have space in your DB board, you can always then have a smart isolator. So when you install a smart isolator, rather go for something that has all the functionality then of wireless switching, energy controlling. It just gives you so much more possibility by having the 2x4 isolator at the point of control. On the device itself, on the Astute Smart Controller, you will see that we have a switch and a reboot little button. This switch button that you see on the front of the Astute Smart Controller has two functions. It's to manually switch products on and off. So if we do not have any internet connections, you can manually activate or deactivate the device from the point of source. The reboot button is exactly the same function as what we used to have on old cell phones, where we could actually take out the battery and reboot it. Same thing here. If the electronics for some reason get a little bit confused or stuck, all you need to do is push in the reboot button, and that will remove all electronics off of the board to allow it to just find its feet again, if I can call it that way. So the little reboot button, all that does is takes the electricity off of all the electronics, lets it reset itself. When you reset it though, you do not take off any of your data or pairing or energy monitoring at all. That is literally just switching the power off to the electronics so that if it is a bit confused or a bit stuck, it's going to find itself again. So the reboot is not a reset button. It's literally just taking the electricity off so if it's confused, it can find itself again. On the ASI, Astute Smart Isolator, all you have on this device is the switch and the isolator. So where this one had a reboot button, all you need to do is isolate it and it will fully switch off the device to ensure that there's no power on the electronics, just so that it can reset itself a little bit. Also, every time you isolate this, you don't have to worry about resetting it the next time. All you're doing is switching off the power, switching it back on. All your settings, your pairing, everything will still be on the device. One critical part about the ASI device is you need to ensure that the line and the load is the correct way around. If you put line on load, the electronics will not work. This device has been built in such a way that all the electronics are powered up from the live and neutral on the line side. If you mix it up, it will not be able to pair correctly. So please ensure when you are wiring this up that the line and the load side is correct. On the Astute Smart Controller, please ensure that your polarity is correct as well. The live and the neutral top and load at the bottom. On the switch isolator, you have to connect the live and the neutral on the line side. But if you only have the live on the load side, it will still operate. You don't need it unless you have to have the neutral, obviously because it's an isolator, you can use it. But for some reason, if you do not have the neutral in the same box, you can only isolate the live. That is fine. It will still operate correctly. So just to remake this, I don't know what the word is now, sorry. To reiterate, sorry for that. This is a DIN rail and a mini rail product. You can use it in either or. On the top of the CBI, The I dot is the LED notification. That little indication will let you know, are you in the pairing mode? Are you not in the pairing mode? Do you have Wi-Fi connection? Is the device on or off? In the instruction manual that comes inside the box, you can literally see there if what is the LED status telling you. If it's flashing red, it means that the output channel is on. If it's a solid red, it means that there's no internet, but the device is powered up. If it's flashing blue and red, then you know Wi-Fi is there and the output is on. So all the LEDs that you see on the top of the eye actually mean something. And it helps you when somebody phones you in and says, I'm sitting with this device and it's flashing blue or it's solid red. You will be able to assist them over the phone. At the bottom, you can see what the standard packaging of the Astute Smart Controller looks. The ASI will come in a packaging, plastic packaging. I'm sure most of you would have seen that by now. If you haven't, I don't know if this is going to allow me to show you. I'll show you the packaging afterwards when I can turn off my screen a bit better. So in general, inside the box, you get a QR code. Now, when you sell this to somebody, just tell them that the QR code, they should definitely stick onto the DB board or wherever they have installed this device. What the little QR code does is it allows you to scan the code and it will take you directly to the website where all the instruction manuals are, where all the instruction videos are. So if you move out and somebody else moves in, they can just scan that QR code and ensure that they know what they are doing. Another positive of this device is if you move out of your house, you don't have to worry about the next person moving in. All they need to do is hold the switch button in, enter the pairing mode, and they can pair this device to their cell phone with their registered app. If you want to maybe mess them around for the first few weeks, leave yourself as administrator and switch their lights on and off and their geyser on and off. I'm sure that will make them happy. I promise you it will. Extra notifications on this device. So what this device will do for you is if you enable the offline notification, this device will send you a push notification to your cell phone if it has been offline for 30 minutes or longer. So it's not going to send you a message every time the power goes on and off, on and off, on and off. Only if it stays off for 30 minutes or longer will it send you a push notification to your cell phone no matter where you are. And this will allow you to know that, one, you've either lost electricity at home or you've lost your internet. Now, we all live in South Africa and we understand the chances of Eskom losing power before we lose internet is a bigger opportunity. So normally if it says offline, you know you've lost power, not internet. Internet is more stable than our electricity. It will also send you push notifications. If you enable it to tell you, is your device switched on? Has it switched off? Is there an error? Has it not executed what it's needed to? Or on your phone as well, you can go into your notifications and see timing notification. For some reason, it wasn't working at 1744. I got an automation notification. I've set that every time my geyser goes below 1,200 watts, I get a notification. As soon as I get that notification, I know my geyser is warm and the next person can go for a shower or a bath. I do recommend enabling the notifications when installing this device for the first time. Why I say that is that you at least know your geyser is switching on and off when it's supposed to switch on and off. There's nothing worse than getting home and you want to climb into the shower and you've got no hot water because the device did not activate when it was supposed to. So in the beginning, just leave the notifications on that you can get notifications that the device is working according to what you've set it to work. After a few days, you can always disable it and it's not going to be bothering you anymore. But I leave mine on just to get a feel, is anybody else switching on my devices? Because every time somebody does something on the app, it will let you know about it. So I've shared my devices with a whole lot of people. So every time somebody's playing, I at least know somebody's switching it on and off. Luckily, it's not my house geyser, so I'm not going to get home and have cold water. Any of these notifications can be activated or deactivated. It's not an SMS, it's a push notification that comes to your cell phone. So no matter where in the world you are, you will still receive this notification that you know something has actuated or not activated when it was supposed to. Notifications. Remote switching. What do we all do when we go on holiday? We all try remember to switch off our geysers when we go on holiday to save electricity. But what happens is if you're anything like me, halfway down the road, I'm like, I forgot to switch the geyser off. It's easy. That remote controlling is now in your hand and you can switch off your geyser from wherever you are. There's nothing better than coming back from holiday and being able to have a hot bath or a hot shower. Now all I can do is when I leave my destination, I can just switch on my device from my cell phone. So the time I get home, at least my geezer's water will be warm. Remote switching, pool lights. Like I was saying earlier, what's better than being able to activate your pool light from your cell phone? I don't need to go to my DB board anymore to switch on the pool light. I can do it from my cell phone. Security lights. We all have that electrical point somewhere in the garden, but how do I go and switch that on? It's easy to get an electrical point, but to get a switch there, and you also don't want to have it on a day-night switch where it's going to be burning all night. You want security lighting to be able to be switched on and off when you want it to be on and off, not the other way around, that it burns the whole night for no reason. So install the light, put the ASC, ASI at the point, and you'll be able to remotely switch on those security lights wherever they are. Irrigation. We know what happens on farms. Everybody goes to town. Nobody remembers that they switch off the irrigation. On larger irrigations, you can use the device to pull in and out a contactor. Yes, this is only a single phase device, but you can use the 3-phase contactor to activate something with larger loads. Just remember though, if you do run this device on a contactor, you lose all of your watts and amperages. You will still be able to see the voltage reading to the coil, but you are not going to see the exact usage of the device through a contactor. But it is still possible. Security lighting, I think, is one of the best functions for this, that you can lie in bed and switch on any light where you want to. Same with mostly everybody on this call. Works late hours, works early hours. There's nothing better than being able to activate your shop's lights before you walk into that shop. I know most offices, most big shops, you have a key switch. So before you walk in, activate the lights and you go in. You can sit in your car and switch on the lights before walking into the shop, so that when you walk in, you can see visually that nobody is inside before walking in. At night, after stock take, month ends, when you leave the lights on, climb into your car and then deactivate them. It's just extra security when you are entering and exiting offices, your shop floors. In my opinion, the security side of the security lights is one of the biggest positives for this, especially in our industry and especially in our times. You always want to keep it as safe as possible. What we've added to this as well is, now if you have 6, 7, 8 different devices on your cell phone, at a glance, I don't want to just see ASC1, ASC2, ASC3. You can go into those devices and call it whatever it really is. So you can change the name and say bulkhead light, underfloor heating, geyser, outside lights. So at a glance, you can just pick up your phone and see exactly what devices is on and what is off. You can go even one further and you can change the icon of that device as well. If you don't like seeing the ugly little ASC icon, put exactly what that device is controlling all the time. So at a glance, I can see none of these are colored in green, so these are all off. My pool pump is offline. I switched it off for the demonstration just so that I can see and show you the difference between a device that is plugged in, powered up, has internet, compared to a device that is unplugged with no power. So after 30 minutes, this device would have sent me a notification to say, please be aware your pool pump is off. Maybe just go have a look why. Under the device information you have the offline notification that I was telling you about, where you can activate this and it will tell you if your device is off for longer than 30 minutes. Same with security lighting. Maybe at night, somebody cuts the power to those security lights. you'll then get a notification to say that the power is off, so that you are a little bit more aware of the security risks before you go home. You can share the device with as many people as you want. Besides just sharing the device, I can share my home. I have 6, 7 different homes on my app currently. I have my home where I live, I have my office, I have demo boards, but to ensure that I do not mix everything up, I classify it under different homes. So after this session, if you would like to be added to one of our home demos, we will gladly add you. Just register the CBI Home app and we will add you to one of our homes in your area where you can play with the devices, play with the demo boards. These boards are all over in our offices. It gives you the access to play with different automations to see exactly what this device can do. But what's nice about this is I can have my home Voltex Clarksdorp, I can have my home Voltex Bloemfontein, Voltex PE, but under every home will be the exact devices that are installed only on that premises. So I can share my entire home with whoever I want to, or I can share just a device to somebody. When I share this device, I can make them an admin or a common user. When you're a common user, the only access you have is to switch it on and off manually off of your cell phone. You cannot change the timing schedules, you cannot change the automation. Only manually on and off. Frequently asked questions and feedback. So if you're struggling with something, you can just click on the link and it will take you to the frequently asked and feedback. Also, some interesting information will be on there. Maybe some automations you haven't thought of, somebody else would have thought of. This will take you to a frequently asked and feedback website. You can also add just the geyser to your home page of your cell phone. So if you click on that, it will take you directly to the geyser and you can activate it on and off. You don't need to now go find the app, open the device. When you add that to your home screen, it will give it full access on the front page of your cell phone. Check device network. If you go into that, you can see if your network's still up and running. Is it too weak? Maybe that's why it's not switching properly. One thing you need to know as well, you're looking at about a 25 to 30 meter maximum range of Wi-Fi capturing. Obviously, if the device has a lot of walls, a lot of metal construction, that will decrease it. When you are looking at line of sight, obviously that will increase to at least the maximum length that your Wi-Fi router will allow you to. Say, for example, you move out. All you need to do is remove device. This will give you two options when removing device. You can either remove device and whatever data is on it will stay there, or you can remove device and wipe all data. So if you are changing ownership of a house, maybe having a new tenant in one of your flats, you can remove and wipe all the data and then give full access with a clean device to the new person that will be using it. At the bottom of the screen, you'll have the home page. On the home page, you will be able to see all of your devices. If I had to click on living room or master bedroom, it will show me only the devices I've installed in my living room, master bedroom, or study, whatever room you create. Underneath here, you will see the little smart robot. That smart robot smiles when you click on it. It's a happy robot. All of these little things have been done by the marketing team of CBI. They've taken this device, they've taken this app, and they have customized it to make it as friendly and as appealing as possible. It is a very, very clean, smooth running app. What we've also done on this app is we have left it open source. When I say open source, this means you are able to add other devices onto the app. Why we've done this is to allow you to add other components into this. I don't want you to sit with 4, 5, 6 different apps just to do one automation. I rather give you the access to allow you to use one app to control multiple devices. There are a lot of LED companies out there currently that are releasing Wi-Fi enabled products. You can use those products on this app. So you can have your Astute Smart Controller, you can have your Astute Smart Isolator and other devices. Any TWIA or Smart Life device, you will be able to add onto the CBI Home app. Any device, Tuya or Smart Life, any LED that runs on that same platform, any water leak detections, any smart sensors, room occupation sensors. There are many devices out there besides our two devices that you can add into this app. We want to allow you to have easy access between whatever you're switching and controlling. We do not want to limit you only to CBI products into the CBI Home app. Customizable to whatever you as the user needs it to be. 7-day timer function. Everybody has always asked us that they are looking for a 7-day timer function. CBI has never had a 7-day timer function. We listened and we gave. You can now choose which days of the week do you want this to be on and off. You can get notifications whenever this device switches on or off. Repeat. As you can see on the right-hand side picture where it says schedule, I can just at a glance see that all my schedules are activated, and I can see which days of the week is this device going to switch on or off. In this case, every day it's going to switch on. Every day it will switch off at 11 o'clock, on at 4 and off at 10. If I only selected Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, underneath my schedule, it will only tell me that on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, the device will either switch on or switch off. One thing you have to remember is any changes you do in this part of the setup, if you just go back, it will not save your changes. You have to push the save before going back out and ensure that your repeat is set correctly. Otherwise, one day of the week, you're not going to have hot water and you're not going to have very happy people. That I can guarantee you. When we just started playing around with these devices, a lot of us didn't have hot water on some days. So always remember, when you're doing your schedules, make sure you save it before exiting it. All you do is next to the schedule, you click on the days you want it to come on, and after you've saved that, you create the second off schedule. Geyser, add schedule, 7-day timer with notifications if you would like. Energy monitoring. In the palm of your hand, you will be able to monitor your exact monthly usage on the device. You will also be able to see the exact current of that device, the exact wattage usage, and the voltage at the point of source. Once you've clicked on the month that you are interested in, you can go into that month and go per day exactly what is the consumption on that day. This will help you to save energy going down the line. This will enable you to understand which days of the week do I use the most electricity? Why do I use so much electricity on those days? With that type of information, you can always pinpoint where are your weak spots and where can you start saving. Currently, we have the ASI, the Astute Smart Isolator, Astute Smart Controller, but within the next 2 months, we will be launching the Astute Smart Plug, which is a 4x4 SA Euro plug that you can pull out your existing plug and put in a new Astute Smart Plug. This smart plug will have all the functions that the Astute Smart Isolator and Control currently has. What are the advantages of having that? You can have stand lights in your house, your bedside lamps, your fridge, your kettles. All of those things you can put onto a plug now and ensure that they do not, say for example with your fridge, you want to be ensured if you've got it at a holiday house and you're not there all the time, or you've gone on holiday and your fridge is plugged into one of these devices, you'll immediately get a notification when that fridge goes off. There's nothing worse than after a holiday coming home and your fridge has been off for the 2 weeks and you've lost everything in your fridge. At least now you'll get a notification to say your device has gone off, and you can always ask somebody just to go make sure, is everything okay at home? Why did it go off? So the Astute Smart Plug we are releasing within the next 2 to 3 months. That will be on the shelves as well. There are many applications on the smart plug of things. Energy saving, energy monitoring, electrical stats, all in the palm of your hand, wherever you are in the world. If you're having a holiday in Sweden, in America, you can see exactly what is going on at your house. Just a note, The Astute range of products is not a full home automation solution. That is not what we are aiming to do with this range of product. This range of product is just giving you control in your hand to remotely switch devices, control energy management, look at what's going on, get notifications, create smart notifications. Energy management. I'm sure most of you have seen or worked with some of our ECU units in the past, where if the essential load is pulling more than 5 amps, the non-essential load will switch off. If you have two of these devices, you can set up exactly the same type of energy management. Currently, I have one of the Astute smart controllers on my stove and one of them on my geyser. So every time my stove uses more than 5 amps, it switches my geyser off, which is obviously my non-essential load. Every time the stove oven goes below 5 amps, it activates the geyser to start running again. Now, in a lot of houses where you have underfloor heating and an aircon, why, if the aircon is running, warming up the room, have the underfloor heating on? Rather with the two devices, and both devices do need an isolator by the point. Underfloor heating has to be isolated and aircon has to be isolated. So now instead of installing a standard isolator, you can now install a smart isolator and control the two devices. Obviously, you're not going to switch off the aircon because that is more the essential load between the two of them. But if the aircon's compressor is running, warming up the room, rather switch off the underfloor heating. You don't need them both to run at the same time. But then again, in most houses that have all of that, I don't think they always worry about the costs. Heated towel rails. Heated towel rail has to have an isolator. So why not install a smart isolator? You're going to fully understand how much consumption you're using on this. And secondly, you don't want this device to be running the whole time. Now, some of the newer heated towel rails by Bathroom Butler, I think it is, have indication lights at the bottom of the heated towel rail. But if you don't see that light's on, how are you going to know your heated towel rail's on? How are you going to know you switched it off before you went on holiday? You can also now add timing functions out of the isolator, right by the device. This gives you full control and energy saving in the palm of your hand, or on your cell phone. I remember when we created the QAT, there were a lot of people that wanted to take our heads off because some people's fingers could not get into those little corners. Now, if you complain you can't get your fingers onto the screen, buy a bigger cell phone. But yes, all of that control is in the palm of your hand. You don't need to bend down anymore, go into little corners and try and set this timer. All of that is in the palm of your hand. Just a side note, the QAT will not be discontinued. This is just an add-on product at exactly the same price as the current QAT timer, just with all the extra functions on it. We do understand that a lot of the industry does not have Wi-Fi and a lot of residential does not have Wi-Fi. So we still need a digital timer. So the QAT will still stay in the market. We're just offering at exactly the same price as what the current timer is, a smart Wi-Fi timer. If you have any needs, information, you can always head off to the CBI low voltage website. On the CBI low voltage website, you'll find all of the instruction videos on different automations, on how to pair devices, how to set up timing functions, how to delete the schedules, how to move the device between different people, activate it, deactivate it. Everything is on our website. If you have any questions, you have client questions, astute@cbi-electric.com. You can email us all your questions and we will gladly assist wherever it is needed. On that note as well, a lot of our clients out there, if they are struggling with setting up the device or installing the device, we are more than welcome to assist wherever we can. A lot of people are not, let's use the smart word, the astute. So if they are struggling to set up timing schedules, to set up automations, we can gladly assist them online. We don't even need to go out to the site anymore. They can just make us an administrator of the device. And through that, we'll be able to set up automations for what they need. To check why the timer's not switching on and off. We can check the firmware for them. As long as they share the device with us, I promise you we won't mess them around too much, but afterwards they can just remove us as an administrator and have full control of their device as well. But same thing, if a contractor has to install the device and the client is struggling, instead of now wasting all their time to go out to the site, the client can just add him as an administrator and do all the settings that is needed. So any information, any videos that you need, please email us, look on our website. All the information is on the website. So that is the basics of the Astute range of products. Now I invite anybody that would love to have more a hands-on feel of this product to please contact us, and we will gladly come out to your store and do a full day's run at your store. Have the interaction between your clients, between you, between your staff. We'll come out to the Voltexes, do the hands-on training that you can get a hands-on feeling of how this works and any other questions that you have. We are currently doing a nationwide run at all and any wholesaler that invites us. We go out to your store for the day and we will present this product and show you exactly how it works. We have branches all across South Africa and Africa. So if you need any presentations, any demos, you can just contact us and we will set up a day at your branch to present this product to whoever you want to. If you want to have a customer day, a smart customer day, you give us a call and we will set this up at your premises. Now, like I was saying before the training, before the session started, if you would like us to add you to any of our demo boards, we will gladly add you to our demo boards that you can start playing around with the device on your cell phone. If you delete it, don't worry, we'll add it again. If you put on schedules that don't make sense, we'll get rid of them. So feel free to play on the app and to experience the app itself with demo devices that are not yours. I promise they can't blow up. That I can guarantee you. But it gives you the opportunity to play with these devices. So throughout the session, are there any questions that you need answered? Any guidance, anything that's unclear? Please, you're more than welcome to post your questions and we will answer them. Please just unmute yourself and we will answer your questions.
Unmute as you fly. Yeah, we know everything about it.
Anybody with questions?
Kijk, we moeten niet was. Ja, ik ons moeten duidelijk.
Yes, Gideon.
Hi, Larry, how are you?
Very well, and you?
Good day to all. My question is protection. My protection.
Sorry, Gideon, your line is very bad.
Whatever load that may be connected to the block. Just having a little bit of an internet issue where I wrote on you're not able to. The question, the first one was answered during your presentation.
Gideon, can I maybe ask you to just type your message in the message, and I'll be able to answer you. Your line's very bad. I can't hear your question clearly. I could hear a little bit of you were asking about the protection side of this. Something I can add to that is the Astute smart controller that goes into your DB board. It does not replace your circuit breaker. The circuit breaker has to stay in front of the ASC because the circuit breaker is going to be there to protect against overload and short circuit. So this device will not protect against overload and short circuit. So the circuit breaker still needs to be installed. This will not replace a circuit breaker. But I think maybe just post your message in the
no,
message.
That's fine. You've answered a question.
Okay, perfect. Dan Electrical, you have a question?
Yes, thanks, Larry. I would just like to ask if you can expand a little bit more on the. You said it does switching relating to temperature and maybe like a day-night as well. Do you connect the additional sensor to it? How does it work?
So what happens is when you use temperature, the device itself, when you set up your home management, it uses the weather app to determine what is the weather conditions. Now, obviously, it will never be 100% because our weather bureau never gets it 100%, but it's going to be very close. So when it comes to temperature settings, it will use the weather app and your location to determine the weather conditions and the temperature conditions of where you are.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks very much.
And then, sorry, what was the other question? The one was about how does it work with the temperature, but I think you had a second one.
Yes, I was just asking how does it determine the day-night feature, but I suppose it uses your location as well.
So it uses the weather app as well. So obviously on the weather app, there's always accurate sunrises and sunsets. So whenever there's a sunrise or sunset, obviously from day to day, it actually changes. But it will use the weather app to determine at what time the device needs to switch on and what time does it need to switch off according to the weather app. So you can use sunrise, sunset with that as well. Any other questions? Please launch your questions that we can assist you and we can guide you.
One asks, Johan asked me, one have to ensure a massive DB board. Johan Barkhuizen.
Johan Barkhuizen, to come back to your question, the reason we created the ASI was if you do not have enough space in your board, then you can use the ASI or the ASP going forward. We do understand the limitations of DB board sizes and they're not always the biggest. So the ASC, the Astute Smart Controller, is for the DB board, but we have created the other two versions so that if your DB board is already too full, you could use one of the other two devices to smartly control what is needed. Plug obviously at the source of the point and then the isolator at the point. Maybe also to elude on Gideon's question when it comes to protection, these devices do have a 4 kV protection built into it as well on the electronics. Any other questions?
Google Home and Alexa.
Okay, Google Home and Alexa, we are currently busy integrating Google Home and Alexa into our app. Unfortunately, there's a lot of legals and red tape surrounded about adding their services into our app, but we are currently looking into adding Google and Alexa to the app itself. It's not really the app, it's more to do with the device itself. So if you had to add any other device onto the CBI Home app that is Alexa or Google Home approved, it will give you the options in the CBI Home to add it. It's only on our devices currently that we are still trying to get the permissions to use Google Home and Alexa. Any other questions?
Tell me, what about the COC for this device?
So there's all certification. It has full SABs and ICASA. So obviously any wireless device has to be certified and get ICASA approval. So all of these devices are ICASA and SABs approved. Obviously, when you talk about a certificate of compliance, that when the qualified electrician installs it, that comes part of that.
Okay, how do you test this model to see if it's still, for instance, tripping at 50 amp or it's still compliable? Is there a test button to see if
So
it's still
you would only
live?
test something like that, maybe if it's an earth leakage. Remember what I said earlier in the training? This device will still be backed up by a circuit breaker, which needs to protect the overload and short circuit. This is the smart device. It's not a circuit breaker that needs to be tested for overload capabilities.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure. Any other questions?
What is the cost of this device?
So list price of the list price on this ASC device is 547, exactly the same price as our current QAT timer, and the ASI comes in at 659 list price.
Thanks.
Pleasure. We're just going through the messages to see if there's any questions we haven't answered yet.
Video will be available online.
Yes, what we will do is we will make this video available after the training. We will email everybody that was here today and send you the link of where you can find this. I'm also sure Maureen will add this to the Voltex webpage and add it to all of the guests that were here today.
Gideon's question in regards to the data stored, how long will the data be available for monitoring?
So all of the data, Gideon, is stored in the cloud. So as long as it's a cloudy day, your data will be there. If it becomes sunshine, you have a problem. I'm joking. All of the data, as long as your device is registered, all of the data stays in the cloud. Only when you remove it will the data be removed. I'm currently sitting with over a year's worth of data on my devices as well. And as long as it's in the cloud, you will not lose it unless you get rid of it yourself. That's why I was saying also in one of the slides I was showing you, when you remove the device and you want to remove it for some other reason, just remove the device, but do not clear the data. If you remove and clear data, it will get rid of all the saved data on that device. Just remember as well, when we're talking about energy consumption with this device is not a class 1 device. This is not made for billing purposes. This is just for you to monitor what are you using and to get an idea of it. So this will not be defined as a class 1 energy meter. So just remember that when you are looking at all of the readings and the kilowatts and that type of stuff. It's not a billing device. Any other questions?
Do you have some interesting application examples that are out of the ordinary? Yes, online.
Yes. So who asked that?
Dan.
So Dan Electrical, there are a lot of out of the ordinary applications that we have done with this so far. Just to give you some ideas, what I've done with it is I have a percolator in our office. Now, obviously, when I set up an automation and the percolator stops percolating, it goes below 500 watts. As soon as it goes below 500 watts, the device sends me a notification to say my coffee's ready, I can go throw it. Same with swimming pool pumps. When you're using the amps and the wattage, we obviously all know what happens. As soon as your pool needs a backwash, the amperage goes up or the watts go up. So what I've done is on my swimming pool pump, I've set as soon as it goes above what it's normally pulling, it sends me a notification to go have a look. I might need to backwash it. Or there's something wrong with the pump because it's using more watts or amperages that it needs to. But all of these interesting videos and automations are all online on the CBI YouTube page. You're more than welcome to go and have a look there. As soon as you start playing with this, the limits are, there's very little limits when it comes to this device. There are so many things that you can do on the automation side of things, energy controlling, notifications. These devices can talk to each other all through the app. Even if I have an ASC or an ASI in Joburg, it can tell a device in Cape Town to switch on and off. As long as it's all in one home on my device, all of these devices will talk to each other and tell one to do another thing. In my office, I have my aircon on the ASI as well. Just for for the fun of it, every time the compressor kicks in, I have lights flashing. As soon as the compressor kicks out, I have lights flashing. Just these little things that let me know that what is happening with my devices. So when it comes to out of the norm applications, yes, there are quite a few of them on the website, on the frequently asked questions, and on our YouTube channel. Also, feel free at any time to contact us, and we'll gladly assist if you think of an application. We'll guide you if we can do it or if we can't do it. Any other questions?
What is the so what is the distance, the transmission distance?
So transmission distance from the Wi-Fi to your ASC or ASI, you're looking at around 25 meters if you have a lot of walling. Obviously, the more walling, the more concrete with any wireless device, that does cut down your distance. Also, the strength of your Wi-Fi unit. Now, normally if you're standing at the Astute smart controller and you see your cell phone's Wi-Fi signal is about 1 or 2, the Astute smart controller will not be able to pick that up. You need to have at least 3 to 4 bars on your Wi-Fi when you're standing next to it with your cell phone to see how strong the network is. But so far, 25, 30 meters is what we've picked up with a few walls, with the canopies that are on the pool pumps. You're good to go. Line of sight, it will be a lot further, but in general, 25 to 30 meters from your Wi-Fi router. If you have Wi-Fi extenders, it makes it a lot easier. What I've currently done as with this whole process of the R&D of this device, I've had many smart devices in my house. So my router cannot handle them anymore. So all I've done was bought myself a little prepaid router, added a prepaid SIM card. I go through with my 30 odd smart devices in my house, maximum of 50 meg in 2 months. So 29 rands worth of Vodacom data, and I've sorted for 2 months. Switching on and off, energy monitoring, and I've got a lot of automation set up in my house with different things switching on and off the whole time. So it uses very little data transmission.
Does it measure temperature at geysers?
No. So this device does not measure temperature at the geyser. Unfortunately, that is something we haven't added into this, but in general, you might be able to get other sensors that can integrate. Currently, none that we know of. So no, it cannot measure temperature at the geyser. The only way I get a notification to know my geyser is hot is when the watts go below the 2,000-3,000 watts that it is. I just get a notification because then I know the thermostat element has switched off and it stopped using electricity. So obviously my water is now hot. Also remember, this is a single phase device only. For motors and that, unfortunately, you will not be able to use it unless you use a contactor and you just activate the contactor's coil with the device. But you won't be able to run a 3-phase device directly off of it. Also, remember, if you use a contactor, you do lose the wattage and the amperage control because all it's controlling is the coil of the contactor. So if you want to use it for a 3-phase application, you'll have to run a contactor, and then this will just switch the contactor on and off. Anything else?
Will we meet up with geyser-wise combined applications?
Well, if we can get hold of the right person at geyser-wise, we will definitely have a chat to them and see what's the best way forward. We are always looking. Obviously, as you know, CBI Low Voltage is a company that's been around for 75 years, and we've been making circuit breakers, and we've been making circuit breakers really well. This is the first time we are stepping into, I don't want to call it the smart way because I believe we were smart before the time. This is more the IoT way of things. So this is a new direction for CBI Electric, and any inputs that we can get, we gladly listen. So just to take it for an example, currently our device does not come with a return state function. But after launching this device, and it's been out for 3 months now, we've listened to the people and the people have asked they want that. So we will be upgrading the devices coming forward, and we will look at adding this feature going forward. Unfortunately, this is not a firmware update. It is literally a hardware update that we need to do on our side. But we are looking into the R&D to give what the customers have asked for.
Ian, the song asks, do we use the ESP8266 chip?
So currently we do not use that chip. We use what we call a M7 chip inside our devices. This chip as well is not open source. You cannot flush it. It's all CBI locked information inside that. The reason we've done that is to ensure that not anybody can just access this or hack these devices. So on a security side of things, we have not used any chip. We have used what we call the M7 chip. We're just checking through the messages to make sure we've answered everybody's questions. Please, if you have questions, put it in that box. If there's no more questions.
We can turn a quick little bit of mine.
Yes.
And we're going to spin it around and see. So far, no further questions there.
What we're going to quickly do is I'm going to hand the share screen over to Stan Wilson. Stan Wilson's just going to give you a little bit of online showing of what different applications, what does the device actually look like when you're using it on your cell phone, and all the different app features, if I can call it that way. He's a bit of an older gentleman, so unfortunately his bladder doesn't last as well as most people, so he's just run out to the bathroom again. So, but as soon as Stan comes back, I will share his screen that you can just get a bit of a feel of what does the demo board look like that we currently have, and what all you can play around with. As you will see on the demo board that you're going to see, it's the board we're using when we come out to your clients to give you client days, to give you the hands-on feeling of what the device can do. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen, and I am going to let the old man Wilson share his screen. Okay, Stan, you should be able to share your screen now. Otherwise, I might have to give you mine.
Just engage on good video on that.
Yes.
So there you are.
Sorry, this might take a while. He's a bit platinum. I need to show him where he's unmuted.
Okay, talk about being thrown under the bus quickly here. Right, I'm going to spin this laptop of mine around, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of insight to what we do at your trade shows and your team trainings with your customers online, everything else from there as well. So let's just get this set up and get my ugly face out of the way, so you guys can enjoy some of the smarts. And Dan, I did see disappear. One thing while we got Voltex on the line as our hosting customer, we will engage your customers for you. Everything else like that will help you. Like I said, the teams are jacked up, so don't be scared. Let us do the work for you. Let us be your business partner, and then we'll take on the journey. And trust me, this will make huge. So I'm going to spin it around. Bear with me. Larry can just correct me. And I'm going to show you a little bit of an overview. So what you're going to look at is you're going to see a little bit better. So I think Larry's guiding me. Can you see the screen?
You can maybe switch the light on.
Yeah, let me just drop this quickly. That a bit better, guys?
Yeah, much better.
Perfect. Okay. So basically, if you guys can all hear me, I'm sitting with my phone in my hand. I'm now projecting onto the wall via a wireless projector, acting cleverer than my age, to be quite honest. So this, the young guys like Larry have taught me a little bit of smarts and said, get out there and sell the good stuff. Okay. So I'm basically going to go out of the app. I'm going to show you your customer top left-hand side. You download CBI Home app. It takes you into there. You're not going to see these bottom units that are all on the devices that are online from that, but you will see, and I'm going to show you how we set up a home very quickly and very briefly. All right, one of the things Larry mentioned to you was that it's a location sensitive. So we look at where we are, and just depends on the signal strength from there, but let me start switching some of this stuff quickly for you. Yeah, I just want to see. Right, so if we can switch some of this. Just be with us. I see we've got a beautiful storm here in Johannesburg. You can see the outdoor temperature, everything else. So this is basically what your screen will look like. and I'll just switch 1 or 2 units. You'll see 1 or 2 units go on and off. I want to just show you my very simple my geyser at home. This is my personal geyser when you're talking to customers, and this is my personal home that you will see moving up and down the screen. To answer some of those customers, that little doggy light is a secondary product from a different customer. Works on our app. That's our switch lights on at home for my little doggies when I travel. But let me show you the 4 kilowatt geyser.
If you're changing screens, don't go so fast because it takes a while to focus.
Oh, okay. All right. So Larry's just correct me. I won't move too fast. So this is my 4 kilowatt geyser at home. I'm going to show you the electrics. So when it refocuses. All right. So you'll basically see that top middle is 542. That means kilowatts boiled today. This is a 200 liter 4 kilowatt geyser. And that's what I've used today so far. If you can see, sort of just below that on the right-hand side is total kilowatts 3,458 that I've used since, and I'll just scroll down a little bit for you, since the 5th of June. Answer your guys' questions. I'll come back to the values of where we are now. On the screen, you'll see, and I can go right back until the 5th of June when this was installed. And there's my daily consumption. Left-hand side is kilowatt, and the bottom is obviously days. Right, so what I did notice, and let's go back in, let me just show you, let it focus, and I'm going to switch it on, and I'm going to take you into the electrics. So you can physically see what a 4 kilowatt geyser, and this for us as wholesalers is important, because then you know to give the customer, my 4 kilowatt runs at 3.6, is at 16.73 amps, and it runs at 3,687 watts. Okay, so you might battle a little bit from there. Okay, all right. So it runs at 16.68. Larry just says now it's a little bit faint for you guys, but we'll do this online and we can help you with it on our demo units. So let's go and have a look. I've now switched it on. It's giving me a voltage. It's giving me all the rest. I'm going to take you basically and show you the months. June, July, August, I did no intervention whatsoever in switching. The old question that's always asked of us electricians, does the timer save you money? Does it work? Is it worthwhile? And then we sell customers heating blankets, we sell them everything else, and we still can't answer the question. The question and the answer is yes, that saves you money. If you look at my first 3 months, 535 kilowatt, 620, 542 kilowatts, and I did no interventions. And bearing in mind, I've had my home 20 years plus, and I've never had a unit in my hands that can measure kilowatt hour and how much does it cost me. Each of those digits, 1 equals 2.20 pay as you go. So my geyser for 2 people in a home cost me around about 1,300, 1,400 rand a month, which is absolutely nuts. July, there was a total of 620 kilowatts used. I went and had a look in July. I wanted to see what the problem was. And I went back, and the one day in July, sorry, I'm just going to scroll and hopefully it can focus as we go. I boiled for nearly 12 hours, my thermostat jammed, and I had no other control to save me money. So half a case of beers disappeared there immediately. A couple of days later, it reboiled again, just over 11 hours. Remember, it's a 4 kilowatt element, so 40 equals 10 hours boiling. My thermostat jammed again, and I had no intervention from that, had no clue. All the money is thrown away from there. I then started to tweak. From basically September, I did go away for a while. I switched off. October, I got a little bit more fancier. November, I got really clever with a couple of fights with the missus and cold showers. And I then found my energy pattern. So what we do is when we come and train you and your staff and your customers, we engage, we start to explain all these different variants. You can now see December. December, obviously, we went away. January, I've got it down to 319. And February 238. So from an average of 550 kilowatts per month that I'm using on there, times 220, I've dropped it down to 320 kilowatts. So that's basically it. But this you can all see online. If you join our platforms, we'll help you from there. And very simple. You can switch, you can do remote. I can go from different homes. I'll show you quickly the Joburg ASC. We have these in all the branches. Larry, as product manager, has sent kits to every single branch, and you can put from there. The question a lot of you guys will ask is how many people can we put on a home? And I'm going to show you. Okay. Oh, is it blank? Okay, so it's obviously Larry says it's a little bit fancy. It's too bright and too fancy in between. But the long story short behind all of this is everything you can set up, you can set your customers. I'm going to swing around a little bit and just chat to you quickly. Let me get that off, if you don't mind. And right, so, okay, let's get you away from the brightness and the darkness. Okay, so what you can do, and let me try and help you with your contractor customer or your customer that's going to resell or reinstall. Your contractor can sit at home, he can set up the customer's home, he can actually prepare all the business before he hits the site, he can go to the site, pair it, and he can be part of the journey with that customer. And he can actually sit there and run the different sites. We can run thousands of sites. Depends how many customers you got and how many you want to put on board. How many people can we put on that home? It's endless. Larry and his team have got nearly to 200 plus, and it's limitless. With this, your customer, your contractor, and the person buying that product can actually go set up a home, share it with you, share it with their kids, share with anybody across. And Larry said admin, common member that he put in place from there as well. And I can transfer that home. So I set it up. I get you busy, get the customer happy. I spend a couple of days online with you. I see when you're boiling. I see what's switching on and off. I can do energy control if they've got a couple of more in there under automation. I can say if the pool pump is on, leave geyser 2 off or switch off geyser 3. Day, night, sunset. You guys have got a nice floodlight with Wacko. It's a 100-watt Wi-Fi enabled floodlight. It changes as well color from 6,000 Kelvin to 3,300 Kelvin. And we can put it on our app and we switch it sunrise, sunset, and I can switch it physically. I can even change that color on our app as well, just to give you an idea. Heat pumps, my son-in-law's got a brand new heat pump online and it's not even our product. It fits on our app. I can change his temperatures, everything else. They just cannot measure how much does it cost them. I don't think they wanted to put that on there because heat pumps do drag nicely. Okay, so all of those features. Don't be scared. Ask us. Put your customers online on our work sites. There's a ton of automation that we've done. We do you can do school bell timing. So you take away the old box that you need to have with a box with a stepping relay or a module timing in between, this fancy big thing. 1 unit, put it in the board. I can do factory sirens. As long as you've got internet, Wi-Fi, you can make it happen. So automation, you can go up to 1 second, and with the normal standard programming up to 1 minute. So that is your setting profiles from there. We're not going to take you too much further from there. Between Larry and myself, I hope we've taken you on a beginning of a journey and a fresh journey. Our teams are capable around the country. Please use us. Let us be part of your business. I can guarantee you that this will enable your business further. Remember, when you start making somebody smart in homes, a little bit of teething problems, but then you've got a customer online. You can see the load profiles. You can measure these things. And we haven't even started the industrial side. So from me, thank you. And hopefully we see you online soon. Have some fun and we chat soon.
From Voltex and CBI, thank you again so much for giving us this opportunity to host you this afternoon. We really hope we did not bore you totally to death and that you enjoyed this. Thank you, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day. Please keep safe and healthy out there. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.